What's up, friends? It's your boy GP with DeOrganized Media, bringing you another awesome episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars together, discuss the latest news and market conditions, bring you the alpha hot and fresh off the presses, and kick out high-frequency vibes. It has been an eventful weekend. We got some recovery late last week, and it looks like the market kind of stabilized over the weekend, and now Monday it is flat. So, looking forward to better times. There are memes doing very well within the Stacks ecosystem, moving off of the bottom. You know, we've got Rue and Leo, all of the main top memes have moved off the bottom, along with ordinals. Also got a little bit of love. So, is this our signal? Are we going to keep chopping sideways? Who knows? I prepared some bookmarks for you guys. You know how I do. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. That's not it. That's not it. What are you doing, Giga? And let me just double check. See, it's like this again when I need it like this. No, I don't need it like this. I need it like this. Like this? No. I think it's like this. Maybe it's this one. Is it this one? There we go. That's the one. All right, now let me zoom in a little bit. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. All right, let's get straight into it. So from the main Stacks handle that you can follow at Stacks, STX live stream, how Stacks is winning in 2025. Roadmap discussion, progress made by prominent builders, builder program announcements. Hear from BTC-Fi and STX founders. Watch it now, and you can find that how Stacks is winning in 2025 at the main Stacks handle. I got a cool little shout out here from Nick, from the co-founder of Gamma, giving Giga Pepe V2 a good shout out here. Let's listen in, and I really appreciated this support. And
collection,
shout out,
utility-based collection, and then you can really explore them and in whatever way you see fit. So the Giga Pepe crew, for example, like I see they're really trending community of like OG collectors and creators. So this is now at the top of our trending, for example. So you can really see this based on all the data that's available. So that's
very nice shout out from the Gamma crew. Thank you, Gamma, for giving me a shout out and giving Giga Pepe V2 some recognition. It goes a long way. So thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Moving on, we have Block 9 app, Mr. Wagme's company, coming on tomorrow to talk with us a little bit about what they have going on. Let me read here. We'll be live with GPSC of DeOrganized Media tomorrow at 6 p.m. CST, that is 7 p.m. EST, to showcase the new Block 9 app site. And you can follow Block 9 here at Block 9 app. So a walkthrough of our Bitcoin and Stack services, education, merch, affiliate products, blogs, and resources, all packed into one site. Visit block9.app to browse. So we may just take a little look at Block 9's website here in a little bit while we're on the show. Big shout out to Mr. Wagme, going to come on and talk with us tomorrow. Coming out of Zest Protocol. So they have a town hall every Wednesday. So it is going to be tune in Wednesday, the 9th of April. No, I don't know if that's too correct or not. I already have? No, it's going to be the 16th of April at 11 a.m. EST. That must have been a little typo there. But we have good vibes going on in the town hall. You can follow Zest Protocol at Zest Protocol and jump into the Discord. I have plenty of activities going on and ways for you to earn your favorite memes in the Stack ecosystem, SIP 10 assets, and more going on with the Zest Meme Point Sprint. So go ahead and join the Discord to get involved. Coming out of Stacking DAO, that is at Stacking DAO. Don't miss the Stacks DeFi show tomorrow at 10 a.m. ET. The show will feature all main Stacks DeFi apps and other sharing news. Create a more open and engaging format. Set your timer so you do not forget. I also have an activity scheduled for the Stacking DAO Discord. So jump into the Stacking DAO Discord, get active, have some fun with us, and win some prizes. That's what it's about, having fun along the way. Coming out of stacking DAO again, the amount of STX stacked continues to climb, recently nearing 600 million, marking an all-time high. Still a lot of room to grow for stacking DAO's liquid and native stacking services, and they have this nice little graph here, to where you can kind of see, price rewards in BTC versus stacked SDX, and stacked SDX is on a very very nice uptrend here, making all-time high after all-time high. So very very cool stuff there coming out of stacking DAO. Go stack your stacks for STSDX, STSDX BTC, and put your product or your tokens to work to earn some yield. Big shout out to the Stacking DAO crew. Moving right into the news out of Cointelegraph. New Bitcoin apparent demand shows a positive turn. After an extended period in negative territory, BTC's 30-day apparent demand is turning up. So you can see here on this little graphic here, we're in the negative apparent demand, but it looks like it has bottomed and started to turn up back towards the green into a positive apparent demand. So very cool seeing that chart there. Again, out of Cointelegraph, bullish Bitcoin has outperformed the S&P every single year for the last 14 years. They have this little infographic here. The first year, 27% for Bitcoin year over year. Gold at 37%, but the S&P at 5%. And as you go on, the gains actually end up being a lot more. They compounded against the S&P, whereas in year 14 we have 7.2. It's up 7.2 million% since its start, whereas the S&P is up 306%. So very very cool seeing this little metrics here. Bullish Bhutanese Prime Minister Tishring Tobgay, I butchered that, explains why countries should invest in Bitcoin. It's just a simple strategic choice that many people have made and earned billions of dollars, and I think governments should do it. So the Bhutanese Prime Minister getting into action, getting ready to maybe hodl some BTC. Who knows? Today, Swedish MP Dennis Dukarov formally asked Sweden's finance minister about considering a strategic Bitcoin reserve. See, this is something that we've been talking about over the last few weeks. It's crazy to see more and more countries adopting Bitcoin and making their own strategic reserves. So we'll see. We'll see what comes from this. Bullish El Salvador is continuing to buy 1 BTC a day. Do you think President Bukele can convince Trump and the U.S. to do the same? Trump wants to buy, 21 million Bitcoin over 5 years. That is what was proposed, I believe. We'll talk to some of the friends and just verify that that's what they want to do. But El Salvador continuing to buy 1 BTC a day, keeping to their word. They're putting their money where their mouth is and investing in the hardest asset of all time. New, the SEC has postponed its decision on Cboe's BZX proposal to allow in-kind creations for the Wisdom Tree Spot Bitcoin ETF. The SEC will make a final ruling on June 3rd. So we got a little bit more time out until we see that ruling come out for Wisdom Tree Spot BTC ETF. Today, EU's Commissioner for Trade and Economic Security, Marcos Sefcovic, met with Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick to negotiate trade during the 90-day window. So Trump has paused tariffs, and now they're kind of learning how to position within this 90-day window with tariffs being paused. New, the Trump token will unlock 336.54 million in tokens this week. The next 6 token unlocks combined total is slightly over 200 million. So we see this token unlock schedule here. We've got Trump with a good amount of tokens going to be unlocked this week. We've got Kernel, ZKJ, Omni, ARB. All of these tokens have token unlocks, which are relatively negative to price action. as they unload more shares to try to broaden distribution. That is what happened. Whenever you're looking into tokens that you are speculating on, look up their vesting schedule, right? And make sure that the time that you are buying is not right before one of these token unlocks. Just for better practices, there's a little hack for you. Look into a vesting schedule on the token that you're speculating on. So Trump with the giant unlock coming. Insight stablecoins, attestation versus audit. What's the difference? So we've got this little chart here. We can get into this maybe if we have a little time later. New NVIDIA plans to build 500 billion worth of AI supercomputers in the U.S., which this is massive. We saw that there was some sort of agreement between Taiwan and the U.S. earlier this year, to where chip manufacturing can move over to the U.S. Some types of deals going down, and then now we are seeing NVIDIA plans to build 500 billion worth of AI supercomputers in the U.S. Wild. Just in Canada to launch world's first spot SOL ETFs on April 16th per Eric Balchunas. So look at that. Canada investing in SOL or launching SOL exchange traded products. Pro BTC President Nayib Bukele is greeted by President Donald Trump at the White House. Do you still think they discussed Bitcoin today, or do you think they will today? Drop it in the comments. Will they talk a little bit about Bitcoin? Gammon Cloud Gaming Cloud is building a decentralized GPU cloud from gaming PCs by aggregating underutilized GPU power. Gaming enables high-performance computing for AI and gaming without relying on centralized data centers. Very interesting. Coming out of the Cointelegraph. Breaking: SEC delays staking for the Grayscale spot ETF or ETH ETF there. So delaying some staking for this exchange traded product for ETH. Cool. New Sailor's MicroStrategy buys 3,459 BTC for 285.8 million and now holds 531,644 BTC worth $35.9 billion. This was a question that I asked the crowd some time ago, is like, do you think the US will end up owning more Bitcoin, or do you think that maybe Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy will end up owning more Bitcoin? Who knows? We all know BlackRock runs it all, so we'll see. Today, White House's Hassett says no insider trading, no U.S. recession expected, highlights major progress on EU tariffs talks, and rising economic pressure on China. Yeah, looking forward to seeing a more regulated industry where no insider trading is going on, but that is not the case right now. There is definitely insider trading going on. May just see a U.S. recession. Overly optimistic. Hot take, cold take. What do you guys think? And the OM collapse. Rug pull or market panic? The Mantra team responds. So this was their response. They have a 46-minute response here. There's something like the team held like 80% of this token, and there was all it was a utility token, right? RWAs, this type of thing. Those type of tokens are not immune to these types of unlocks. Teams owning more supply than they should. When distribution is off, regardless if it's a meme, a community coin, or a utility coin, if the distribution is off, there's chances of this happening. OM lost a good percent of their market cap. Went from billions of market cap down to minuscule amounts compared to where it was. So maybe we'll look into this and get into this a little bit too. Update: Mantra investors denying dumping OM before crash, despite on-chain data showing 227 million in OM moved to exchanges ahead of the collapse. Insider trading right here, maybe? I don't know. Regardless, we'll get into it a little bit, and of course, big shout out to the Dogpool Coin crew. We are working together to launch the Dogtails collection, and it will be launching on the 21st of April. So I'm very excited. These storyboards, 60% of the funds raised will go towards the Fungi Foundation, which is Paul Stamets heads this foundation, and we'll be donating some STX to the foundation, or finding a way to get those funds to the foundation. Maybe we can get them to download a leather wallet and get them in the game and onboard a charity to Stacks, which would be very cool. Would love to see people show up and show out for this. But anyways, I don't want to keep the guys waiting too much longer. Let me stop sharing my screen. Let's bring on all the guys. We have the legend Jack Bin Switch. We have Crypto Dude in the house tonight, and we have our beloved Peace Love Music. Welcome, guys. Happy Monday. I hope everybody's had a fantastic start to their week. And yes, the music is jazzy today.
Yeah.
You hear that? It's like, yo, earlier we were grooving and then straight into the jazz, man. This AI on Restream is really doing its job today, dude.
I feel like we should be at like an outdoor bar. There's a sea breeze coming in. There's this is actually kind of depressing because I'd much rather be at that place right now.
Yeah, dude. I think that the AI knew that we all needed to pick up. Like, it's just like, hey, I got some vibes for you fellas. Here you go. It's your night, so have fun.
I got a question. Now, this is not crypto related. Is it just me, or is X just really starting to suck real bad?
Bad, dude. It's bad. So, like...
Can't hear you, Peace.
Very glitchy. Very glitchy. No.
Still can't hear you.
Having that thing going on. Yeah.
Nope.
Still muted.
It's like, hey, Pazan, sound check.
Yeah, the more longer he stays muted, the more Italian he gets.
You see that? Hey, can you hear me?
Motherfucker's gonna start tossing a pizza in the air here in a second.
So what are you guys experiencing on X? That's the problem. I haven't experienced anything.
It's not technical, it's the content. Like, if you go, like, I typically like go.
Oh, that's what you mean. Oh, you mean it's just deterioration in quality of consciousness? Just nothing.
Yeah,
bad. I've always noticed that.
Brain rot is starting to happen. No check. No check, please. No check.
Can we turn the actual music down maybe like 20%?
Oh, definitely can make that shake for you.
Yeah, Peace is gonna have to.
I was enjoying
the elevator back up, I think.
I was digging it. It's just hard for me to hear some of you guys.
Yeah, you can't have a conversation if we're fighting the music, right? But yeah, we're having the same mic issue this morning with Peace's mic. It decided to just like move over to his computer mic instead of his main, and our beloved Peace
just frozen with that smile.
I love it. Now it's just like, take a picture, dude. You took a picture. Yeah, that's
I'm bullish on a new social media platform that's decentralized. Like I'm not. Like, X is just,
I wonder who's building one of those.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard about this guy.
He's a crypto dude.
Yeah, he is a crypto dude.
Some crypto dude.
Yeah, dude. So, you pushed that update for BoostX last week for NFT transfers, and I look forward to doing some giveaways with it on X this week, sir. I do appreciate you continuing to chip away with that.
Yeah, dude. It's getting like this last weekend has been really interesting. Like, we got the Asigna wallet integrated, so people that aren't familiar with Asigna, it's basically a multi-sig vault, so people can have essentially shared funds, kind of landing in a vault, and you can do basically signature threshold execution of transactions. So kind of queue your transactions, and then everybody that's a member of the vault can sign off on them if they approve them right, and depending on how many.
To that point, if you insist on using just a hot wallet, look into an Asigna, because at least you can multi-sig your stuff and make it safer. Like,
bingo.
Like, you can You can set it to where you have, two. You controlling two signatures, and then if there's someone that you trust, you can have them as a backup for a third. But you only need two of the three. Like that is so much better than just running just straight with a hot wallet all the time. Like
Yeah,
that
what's
that
really cool.
recent scammer on got like 150K STX, didn't he? The one
Are
who
you talking
got
about the one that got Mel? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Something like that. Something close to that.
Wait, there's a scammer that got what? What happened?
You didn't see that Mel got
Oh
her
yeah.
private. I think she got in, like from the way that it looks like though. It looks like the private key was somehow jacked.
So we had her on the morning show, and I'm very excited for Proof of Stacks. It is an initiative some sort of initiative that she's going to spin up out of this and turn this from a negative moment into a positive one. She has good spirits. I do feel for her, and she disclosed this morning that she thinks it may have been a NFT that she was not supposed to touch. One of those older ones, not one of the newer ones, but it was just she was cleaning up some stuff in her wallet. She thinks she knows what it stemmed from. So it does seem like it was a seed compromise from something like that. Maybe.
The way the transactions, and me and Trip looked at that and kind of concur. Well, it was a bunch of people looked at the transaction history, but me and Trip kind of were looking at it kind of at the same time, just in the chat, and he knows kind of the same thing I did, which was the tokens kind of left at one at a time in terms of by token instead of in a batch by multiple tokens, which and they're minutes apart, so rather than it kind of indicates more manual moving of the tokens rather than scripted, which is more indicative of private key compromise rather than drainer functions in a smart contract. So that sucks, but I hope she's able to most definitely recover some of her funds and then get some love from the community to get some assistance getting recovered at least. Obviously it's one of those scenarios where it's
you don't wish
what you can do, but
like your worst enemy, because like that's just one of those things that you just don't put out into the ethos, and like I definitely feel for her.
This is I'll take this moment to remind people about post conditions as well. So when people are using stacks, you'll see transactions when you're confirming with your wallet like Leather or Xverse, and you'll see the details of what's happening in that transaction in terms of tokens, like how much tokens are going to be spent out of your wallet, kind of the output. And if the transaction includes what's called post conditions, which are like basically transaction guarantees about what you're what's going to happen, if it does not include those post conditions in what's called allow mode, basically, you'll see a warning in your wallet's window, like this big yellow text right up the top, right underneath the account selection. That'll basically say, this transaction, is not using. It's basically some sort of warning about the transaction not having post conditions. I forget the exact verbiage, but basically it's warning you that you should only use that function call if you trust that contract explicitly. You should not do it otherwise. And so, post conditions are something that's only on stacks. So like that's
security.
It's a really good thing to have.
And just general public service announcement. Hot wallets are super convenient, but you should keep just what you need in there. Ideally, to do transactions, you should store the majority of your stash in either a hardware wallet or some kind of multi-sig vault, something. Use your, if you've got for me personally, I don't do anything crypto related on my phone, and I keep different devices to do crypto related stuff just exclusively. So, I mean, your scammers never stop trying and they get more and more sophisticated. So just do yourself a favor and be careful, because nothing sucks more.
Here's the ultimate, like if you're ultimate paranoid, this is what you do. You get yourself a brand new computer, or brand new tablet, right? Download.
Amazon or a refurbished one.
Yeah.
A brand new. You went to Best Buy, you went to Walmart, and you got it.
got brand new, and then get Xverse or Leather straight on it immediately. Then before you generate your private keys, disconnect yourself from the Wi-Fi, generate your private key, generate your public key, then basically take that public key, air gap it to the machine you intend to have payment addresses received on, and then you're good to go in terms of payments received to that air gapped machine. And if you never connect that machine again, you're totally fine. You can still check the balance
It's
of
literally
that. Just don't lose your private keys, and so you
kind
can
of
always
like a
recover
cold
your
wallet.
access.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
way that
exactly.
you're describing it is like a cold
Just
wallet.
made it to a cold wallet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically exactly what you're doing there at that point. I mean, more or less. And then just you can obviously monitor that payment address
It's
in the
the
Explorer
budget.
if you want to see the balance change, if you're looking to make sure somebody makes a payment to you, if you're looking for some simple solution or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the budget-friendly way of like without getting a ledger, having everything disconnected from the network while like generating that wallet makes it safe, but also like to the point that Jack made, like in a Signal wallet, having multiple signers for your assets as well. They both of the signers can be you. You just connect two different accounts with
Yeah,
two.
you can. Yeah, and you can also configure the Cigna vaults on how many signers you want to have out of it. So if you want to make sure everybody signs, obviously there's a little bit of risk there. If somebody has some sort of accident or something like that, then you guys are kind of locking yourself out. So it's better to go with a majority type of scenario rather than a absolute all, because then you're a little bit more risky. But I think Asigna is amazing. I think it unlocks a lot of internal organization like checks and balances that we can kind of tap into as a community and like grow different organizations in a decentralized manner.
No, 100%. And like, so to good news, so aside from being able to get paid for having a long on Bitcoin on Velar right now via USDH, which I'm looking forward to this week. Aside from that, I really liked that stream that Stacks did earlier today.
Yeah.
We need more of that. Because people who are like into the people like us who are paying attention every day, this is all stuff that we know, we talk about all during the course of the day. But I think that got up to like 8,000 views.
Yeah, it was like 9,000 viewers whenever
We should be doing that multiple times a week.
Yeah. So to have that kind of outreach, it was really good because we're not reaching 9,000 people interested in Stacks, on one shot like that on any given week.
Well, it's just crazy not to take advantage of the follower account that they have. You know what I'm saying? It's
like, yeah. So that was good. I like that a lot. And I mean, that was a good chance for people to see what's really going on Bitcoin, which is, the meta is building on Bitcoin. It's been that way for quite some time. And the truth of it all is that, Stacks is well positioned in terms of being ahead of a lot of the other L2s, which makes sense because Stacks has been at this a lot longer than the other L2s. So that was really good. We definitely want to see more of that. I think that was massively successful. And yeah, I like that a lot. That was probably the best thing I saw on X today because again, the content on X right now is just absolute just horrible, man. It's just so
yeah, it's like brain rot mixed with like the same copy paste tweets.
Is that the direction that like social media content's going in general? Is it's just
dude, that's been a trend. That's been a trend for a long time. It's like everybody's chasing, because the problem right now is basically the algorithm dictates what's trending rather than the users, and ergo everybody chases the algorithm rather than the algorithm chasing the users and informing the users of what other users are liking, because like obviously they have an agenda, to push, ads to, sell, ad revenue space. So they want to capture as much attention as possible.
So y'all saw Idiocracy, yeah, that movie.
Oh God, Yes.
Right? What great movie. Mike Judge is absolute genius. Like,
Yep.
this is how we get Ass, isn't it? The movie Ass. This is exactly how this happens. We're watching it happen in real time.
We start
And,
watering our plants with
and All My Balls, the other
Yep.
big hit from
Yes, dude.
Idiocracy.
Yes. That's
Like,
exactly it.
on my For You, like, I get like fight videos and shit all the time. I don't watch that. You know, like I really try not to indulge like certain parts of my personality, and watching people getting their asses kicked.
No,
isn't
it's not
part of it,
because
you
it's
know?
not necessarily because you've watched it or watched it before. Or
No.
it demographically, it probably has been able to quantify you as an adult male of a certain age and in a certain demographic, so to speak. It's quantified you basically algorithmically, and then it's trying to serve you that content that it knows will get the most attention based on those demographic returns, right? So
Yeah, golf. I don't watch golf. I don't watch American football. Like I have to like go through my feed constantly and just turn that off. And then every other post on my feed is from some bot. You know, like almost
many
every
bots.
single one.
So
You know?
many bots. That's one of the things that like I'm seeing a lot of too is that bots are now responding in replies a lot of silly bots, like, and they're shilling some type of scam pump and dump tokens too, so like, yeah, the content is ass right now.
Yeah.
part of me wonders what it would be like to have a filter for just hiding everything that doesn't have a .btc or .stx name. That's not created by
Now you're getting into like a little bit of like
just filtering the content feed, basically.
algo to what you want to see.
Let's just
And the thing
filtering it
is-
down to just what's being served by it, but only down to the context, which is an author name of matching pattern, right?
Or
There's-
maybe like how they have the different tabs, like say on X you have the following for
Yeah,
people you're following. What
I
if
wasn't meaning like just nuke the whole thing and just only filter tabs.
censor it for them, right? Censor.
Here, let me get rid of the noise for you. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And there's still good content being made, but you just don't see it. Your feed's overrun with garbage.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be nice to be able to filter out some of it, like optionally on occasion, to see what the community is liking. But so that to that effect, it's like there's two ways to go about doing that, and we're still deciding on what's the best way to go before we'll implement that. But there is stuff in the plans for something similar to that, or something very in line with that.
I like that you'll be able to do like exhibits with like with God, it's slipping my mind right now, Crypto Dude. Derupt.
Mm-hmm.
With Derupt, you can do the exhibits, and then like for BoostX, you can like just have like for .btcs here, I'll show you. Like, let me cover this real quick while I'm at it too. So on the Leather Lounge tomorrow, guys, let me just read this. On the next Leather Lounge, the decentralized takeover, creator monetization, Web3 gaming, and BTC on-air giveaways with BoostX. Think you know your tunes? Come play, name that tune live, and win some sats tomorrow. So BoostX, Crypto Dude, we've got Longstreet, Peace Love Music, Attract Funding, me, Jack, Mel, BoostX. Everybody's going to be on the Leather Lounge tomorrow at 11 a.m. ET. So you guys make sure that you tune in. But what I was saying for BoostX is like, see how you have For You up here. You've got following. You've got Stacks. Like these different types of communities that you can get into. Like just having a tab for .btc or .stx names would be something, cool to see. I know that it would help filter out some of the noise. And then if you download the BoostX app and then have that happen automatically for you, maybe that's something along the lines of what you're saying, or maybe a module. How do you visualize that working?
I can see a couple different ways, but like I do like the way of just right there on the feed a third tab, basically. You know, the for you, the following, and then the like either stacks, authors or boosted content. And I like the idea of boosted content, but I also like the idea of just stacks authors too, because then it's creating an exposure to stuff that may need to be boosted. So it's like that's why it gets a little tricky for me, because there's a couple different ways to slice that. And I also like the idea of just having a separate page that's like kind of like renders them almost in like a card
Automatic
style.
way.
Yeah, in a way that's a little more fun rather than just a boring timeline.
Well,
I just noticed something too, guys.
What
They're
is
playing a music game tomorrow on the Leather Lounge, right?
Yeah.
That's inspired by Find to Earn. Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
You're watching Find to Earn and BoostX do exactly what we said it would do.
Influence.
In real time.
Yeah.
This is
an
example.
They're going to use BoostX to select the winner. That's huge.
Yeah, like that's important because, again, so okay, let's look at it like this. Like, for those who are in the ecosystem during the summer, what brought a lot of people into the Stacks ecosystem was the Welsh 100 Days of Giveaways. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, it's huge. They
brought a lot of people in, and a certain percentage of those people that came in because of that are now like they've started creating their own content. They've started, they've learned more. They're involved, etc. It's been a positive feedback loop. But like, giveaways are so just like random, and it's just like, okay, I just show up for this and I do this, and you know what I mean? Like, maybe there's some Zealy quest or whatever, but I think that this is an evolution of that. And again, like when the market's not doing great, like we have right now, where it's just kind of boring and like people don't typically have a lot of disposable income, by and large. Like, people were financing their Coachella tickets, like
or financing burritos.
You got people financing DoorDash, things like this. It's a great way for communities to market their tokens. It's a great way for people to market their products, the protocols. So yeah, I think that's really cool. Like, and then it just so happens with Find to Earn, this is an on-chain crypto game, right? And now you're seeing the power of BoostX integrations with the SocialFi. And I think that this is the snowball going down the snow-covered mountain that turns in bigger and bigger and bigger until, it squashes Wile E. Coyote,
Yeah, the Find to Earn with the morning stuff, and Zenitron's Find to Earn with Skullcoin, we're also working on ways to enhance that more with BoostX directly, and making it where the whitelist process is done as well with BoostX, so users can more or less basically supply some Skullcoin and get themselves on a whitelist basically, and then that basically puts them in their hat in the mix for being able to participate in the games. It will do a lot to kind of help create a better flywheel for that too.
So the follow-up is, how many other communities have this? How do you monetize a community where you just have builders who are just so entrenched in the ecosystem and so like captivated by the vision of the fundamental, value of a network, just making things independently, and then through multiple means using them and growing them and creating new meta in real time? What's the dollar amount that you put on that? I don't know what it is, but I bet you it's fairly significant. And
it's hard to calculate whenever it's so novel, right? Like whenever it's like trailblazer status, like very, very new technology, So that's one of those things that BoostX has been Ben, how do you put a number on the value that it brings until like you kind of see some feedback from it, right? Like until you see how fast it grows. Like they say it often that it's slowly and surely, but all at once, then all at once, something like that, So
Yeah.
how do you put a number on that?
Right. So I think that's very cool. And the Leather Lounge is awesome. I kind of view it as like a counterpart to this show. I think that like this show is more Howard Stern,
Yep.
in terms of how it operates versus like, the Leather Lounge is very soothing, very calm, very informative, but it's like NPR to Howard Stern. But you have this great media this great media meta that's taken hold in the ecosystem. Now you have this interactive media with gaming, and this is all organic. That's the difference. Like this is organic
Not
coming up.
these did bullshit that is hype and no real users and then dumps to zero. This is something that is slow and steady and it wins the race, right? Like you build from the ground for the community, authentically in the open, permissionlessly in a trustless environment, and it'll grow over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Authentic.
we're building with you know with our ear wide open, so to speak. What users' feedback. We want that feedback. It's critical for its success because that's what's going to create the most use. We're well aware of how this game works, so to speak. Requires users to be successful. Nobody's not aware of that, right? But the incentives most definitely matter, and the alignment of incentives is kind of astronomical with BoostX, to be honest, because we have the ability to interoperate and interplay with all these different protocols and all these different tokens and dApps, and like we got the feature profiles coming. Like that's gonna offer a little extra layer of engagement that's on chain for users that are using BoostX when they go to different profiles, like GP's profile. He'll be able to have his Giga Pepe NFTs, mintable right there off the profile. I mean, we could also have DAOs have their own profile page and has like a featured profile, or just maybe it just has a normal rocket button up there. Like there's so many endless possibilities.
You know what I want to do?
Thinking about how Asigna plays into this, how feature profiles plays into this, then how there's obviously crypto cash that we still have not yet integrated, but we've got our audit, we're working on that, so that's going to create a whole also an extra layer of alignment of incentives for everybody that's boosting and everybody, because now when you boost, you're going to be mining for crypto cash, and you're going to be able to stack that crypto cash and earn yield in the form of STX from all the subsequent boosters. So there's a competitive, it'll be introducing a competitive element there, because the mining, so like it's really hard to put it all into context.
But that's what ultimately matters is users. It's not TVL. It's not narrative. It's are people using the things that you've built. That's ultimately what matters in this space.
Bingo.
Right? Like the reason why Uniswap changed the game is because everybody used it. If you were doing anything that didn't involve Coinbase or a centralized exchange, you were doing it through Uniswap, and then so that changed the meta. But things have to be used, and so that's where the rubber meets the road. That you have to build things compelling enough for people to use it, and you have to have compelling enough reasons for people to go to your network in the first place. And the compelling reason, for a Bitcoin L2 is Bitcoin itself. There is no more compelling reason in this space than what Bitcoin is fundamentally. This decentralized network, this currency that's the greatest currency ever devised by mankind. And the ability to use it beyond its native capabilities is where you get L2s. And so
we bring programmability to that Bitcoin and put it to work for yield. That's what we do in Stacks, and then uh, you can literally secure the network and earn BTC. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't get better than that. And you're carrying that decentralized ethos. In a and it's so huge. You don't have to trust anybody to like hold on to, like, let's say for example you use a bridge and use one of these wrapped assets, and like you worry about like a depeg happening, or some type of like hack happening to that bridge, and then you lose your funds. Like, SBTC is permissionless and trustless, no federated systems, completely decentralized, and I think that's what makes it very unique. Stacks has a very unique proposition to bring to Bitcoin, especially being a U.S. based company as well. That is also SEC qualified. So it's like we're seeing a lot of base building going on in the ecosystem. One thing that I wanted to touch on from Friday, Crypto Dude, is that you teased maybe some Discord functionality with BoostX.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are playing Find Earn on Discord, and obviously it's more of a real-time communication, that a little bit more real-time compared to Twitter, or compared to X rather. And so BoostX is able to be basically put anywhere we want at this point. I mean,
I love it.
we can put it on discord.gg, we can put it on YouTube. I mean, we could put it on freaking Facebook if we wanted. It's like, so probably not going to happen on Facebook anytime soon, but Discord most definitely.
That's so quick.
Discord most definitely seems like a natural fit, though. And
Yeah, I mean it's the best. When I first started doing crypto stuff, Telegram was kind of the place to be. And it's kind of come full circle to where, okay, we've got all these Telegram bots and so forth now to allow you to do different things. But I didn't like Discord for the longest time. I still don't prefer it. But between Discord and Telegram, I like Discord a lot more. My beef with things like Discord are, it's just really, really just not made for what we do, and so there's a lot of attack vectors for people to get, their accounts wiped out if they, if they don't keep their guard up. And when you have new people don't even know what keeping your guard up really means in practice. They understand, okay, there's a chance that some stuff might go sideways, but they don't fully conceptualize all the ways that can happen. And,
you're talking about your getting your account nuked or whatever, and being like
right.
lost in
a
the
Discord,
wind, lost in the,
a Discord gets hijacked because one of the moderators or one of the people who do community outreach, with other, like the community liaison, people like that have to open a lot of links. They got to talk to a lot of people. It just takes one screw up, and then they get their account hijacked, and then before you know it, you got a bunch of spam links in your Discord, and people are like,
Discord is you best not to have people have too much moderation access on Discord if you want to keep that thing under control. That's what I've learned. What's interesting though is like Discord, so BNS v2 is getting like an update to the zone file soon, and basically we'll be able to have a little bit better records in there, and so we could have like your Discord name in there, we could have your X name in there. I mean, technically we can already have that stuff in there, but users could basically specify this BNS name, we'll just say like mine, cryptodude.btc, is relative to this X name, which is cryptodude underscore BTC, right? And so those are like pointer records, right? And so we can have that same thing for Discord as well in there, and we can have if your account basically has the matching name, we can present a little security badge, basically a old BNS verified badge, right? And that'll help mitigate impersonators, also help people verify that if your account does happen to get algorithmically hammered for some stupid reason, because the algorithm's on crack that day, then you can at least create a new account, and you can specify your BNS name as your display name, right? And then you can have, people, you can go and update your BNS record to say, this is my new, my new X handle, or this is my new Discord handle, and then your badge will reappear on that new handle because it'll have that confirmation again. So it's not as great as it could be, because we could do a little better if we went a little bit more into the Web3 space as a community. But
I just thought of something. So what if you could like search for content through BoostX through people's BNSs, right? Like you type in gpsc.btc and then it pulls up the post that I did for that day. You know what I mean? Like something like that. And then you have like kind of a different selection of posts that are boostable, directly from the BoostX app. And then you can use it as like a way to search for different content through BNS, like on X.
You're talking about basically having like, in essence, the BNS respected in search, right? That's what kind of you're hinting at. And
yeah.
That's basically where injecting that back. So like if you do a search right now on Twitter, and you'll see it kind of populate some potential results, right? And if you have matching display names, it'll present multiple results there. It'll also present their handle though. And so because it's presenting both there, we can use both of those data points to, confirm which one is actually the correct one according to the BNS record, right? And present the badge right there in that search results in the actual the assumption or whatever it's trying to assume you might be searching for, right? So that I think would square away the expectation, because you're essentially giving the users ability to search for your BNS. But if you're talking about like highlighted content or featured content,
maybe in that tab that you were talking about earlier would probably be actually.
Yeah, that's a better way to do it, because it's a little more open-ended and fair to everybody for opportunity-wise. Because you got to remember, I got to also try and remain as unbiased as possible here when I'm
very
presenting
true.
this data, because otherwise people are just going to accuse me of gatekeeping.
Well, and also, exactly, you want to avoid that. So, one of the things that like I could see people like you're bringing value through that, like that badge system that you're talking about, through verifying the handle for the versus the BNS. Like you say people try to spoof your account. This happened to me in December last year. Like a lot of people spoofed my account, and then I ended up getting banned in a ban wave trying to clean up bots. So that badge could help me, if I had to spin up a new handle, be like, hey, verify that is actually me, but also incentivizes me to download the BoostX app if I get my content featured in that tab, right?
Well, yeah, it incentivizes everybody that has a BNS name to get BoostX. It incentivizes everybody that has a BNS name in their name to tell their followers to get BoostX, because now you can find me correctly. There's a lot of incentives that are still almost in there. Like we from whether or not it's just account badges and verifications, or NFT tabs on profile pages, so like people can see what owned NFTs a user has. Like that's going to be huge, I think, there, because that's going to play a lot for reputation, because we can start having certain NFTs issued out, obviously, like things like Zero Authority, and that will be basically renderable right there in X. So the sky's the limits here. Like people just need to start talking more about what they haven't heard yet, and potentially what they want to see, and reinforce the ideas of what they want to see, so we can know what is priority, basically.
You know what I want to do, and one thing that we haven't talked about yet about BoostX is that you're building the opportunity to essentially have a mint function from your X page for an NFT. And then we've been kind of cooking on Cryptonauts. Should I like do like a little teaser to see put out to Ethos what it may or may not look like for the mock-up?
Yeah, this is a mock-up. It's a concept. It's not. It's work in progress, so it's subject to change. But this gives you an idea of the vibe we're going with. So
Yeah.
it's
So
kind of fun.
give you a little, just to give you a little idea of what to expect. This is just like he just said. This is a mock-up. So this is something that I put together um, over the last week or so.
Probably want to zoom out a little bit.
Maybe it's not. Yeah, here, like it's either zoomed it. There we go. Here we go.
There you
Just like this. So, the cryptonauts essentially will be like an astronaut inspired, Boost X inspired for all the tokens that are listed on Boost X underscore app that you can send directly from X. Interacting with the Stacks blockchain directly from X if you have a BNS name, and you send the first senders of these tokens. How many different tokens is it that's listed? It's like 28 tokens right now.
It's like 32 or something like that.
Growing.
Wait, y'all, you got to change this art, man. You're gonna upset the flat Earth people. Like,
Oh, we got flat
Earth
token.
community.
Don't worry, there's a flat token. So it's gonna have its own.
the flat, the flat Earth community on STX is not gonna dig that particular model.
Well, that one's for the not that one's for the not crypto not. Since hence why it had the not logo in it. But each crypto not basically it's one crypto not for the first token sender of that token, of the supported tokens. So basically, that one is the rough mock-up of what the not token crypto not will look like. Obviously there's the flat token that's gonna have its own vibe to it, and so people will probably like that one. I think they'll dig that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. That was the first mock-up done for Cryptonauts, and you saw it here on DeOrganized Nightly, where we bring you the alpha fresh and hot off the presses. On Friday, we discuss getting Discord involved with BoostX, which is super base to announce on a Friday when we were having all that fun playing Find or Earn in the Zest Discord, part of the Zest Meme Coin Sprint. Just a whole bunch of fun. That whole stream was a blast at the end of that segment. I think people really liked it, and I think that they'll really like being able to set their BNS as their Discord identity and then be able to boost and earn stacks and different SIP10 assets directly from Discord too. So it's really, really cool what you're building out in the open and getting to see all of these ideas kind of shape up and take form over the last few months, dude. I know you're chipping away. Big shout out to Crypto Smith. You guys have been killing it. And I look forward to it.
Yeah, Crypto Smith is a mad genius. So everybody needs to throw that guy a follow.
It is at Crypto Smith, right? Just like that.
Yeah, he has a couple different handles, but yeah, if you go to x.com/CryptoSmith, let me just make sure I don't want to fuck it up for him.
Yeah, let's give him a proper
Crypto Smith. Yeah, it's Crypto Smith _BTC, just like me. I was just making sure. So yeah, Crypto Smith.
Oh, and he changed his PFP to the Disruptor too. Here, let me share this right quick, man. You guys go give Crypto Smith a follow, dude. He's been hammering with Crypto Dude. This guy right here, man. Big shout out to the Disruptors. Very based, very OG, very solid. So Crypto Smith _BTC. This is where you can follow him, guys. Go give him a follow. Chipping away on BoostX, making stacks usable from X, and soon.
Yeah, send him some boost. Boost him up. Also, I was going to mention, since we were talking about the flat and the Cryptonauts, nobody has yet sent flat via boost. So whoever sends flat via boost is going to get themselves that flat
Go. We are cooking, guys. So there's a flat, all you have to do is go to BoostX _app, download the Chrome extension for your browser, set it up, connect your wallet, and then send some flat. Find somebody with a .btc name on X and send them some flat, and then you have access to earn one of these cryptonauts, and they're super limited. There's what, like only going to be like 33 or so of them, like more or less, depending on if you add more tokens in between here and there launch. But like they're super limited, and it's going to be awesome. We're trying to make it very unique. And it's going to be a killer collaboration between the GPSC and the Galactic Art Collective and BoostX, right? So these things are happening. We have these conversations to where like so many collaborations and ideas have been spurred from DeOrganized Media. I'm really thankful for you guys coming on, and just talking, shooting the breeze with me, and just kind of formulating these ideas. We do have Ace. Ace jumped on with us. I want to say what's up
What
to
up,
Ace, man. Ace, how's your Monday going, brother?
Oh, we also forgetting to talk to the people in the chat too, by the way. Elder
My
Statesman,
guys in the chat.
what up?
Let
The
me get
Gambit,
in there. Let me jump in there.
what up? Emmanuel, what up? Sorry, boys. Sorry, forgot to say hi. We were in it. We were in the
Yeah, that's what
weeds.
happens often, dude. We get ripping and running. Thank you guys for reminding me too. Yeah, big ups to the guys in the chat. Appreciate you guys. P Lord actually won a stacking DAO giveaway. There was a content contest, and P Lord put together a nice little thread. So he won a stacking DAO contest. So that was pretty cool to see. We've got our beloved Peace Love Music in there, and looks like Jack had to bounce. Thank you, Jack, for coming through, brother, as always. And it looks like we have Ace like jumping back on to maybe say hi for just a moment. Ace, do we have you this time? One of those things, man. It has like we were just talking about how X can do its things. Restream can also do its things too. Like we're not putting out any we're not putting out garbage content or brain rot, are we? I don't think so. But we have these issues. But thank you for coming through, Ace. Ace is having some technical difficulties, being unable to mute his mic at the moment. But thank you for coming through, Ace. We love you, dude. So for this week, any important updates that you're working on? Like, what are you hammering on the most this week, dude? You might be muted.
Oh, right now. Yeah, sorry, I had to mute myself.
No
It's a
worries.
little loud over here. So right now we are basically here. I'll just pull up our little to-dos. Let me just give you the friggin' to-dos here that we're hammering on literally right now.
The to-dos? Okay. I like it, dude. Structured, organized, BoostX_app.
GP, can you hear me?
So we're
through
working
loud and clear
on.
now,
Let's
Ace.
see
What's up, man?
here.
For some reason, I couldn't unmute myself on my desktop, so I'm
Discord's
on
been
my
crazy.
on the cell now. So
Happens, bro.
good
Sorry.
evening, guys.
I got too many
What's up,
tabs.
crypto dude?
Thanks for coming through, dude. How's your week gotten off to? Like, has it been a good start for you? Like, how are we feeling, brother?
Yeah, feeling good. Feeling good. Still was out trying to finish mowing my yard. I got an electric lawnmower last year, and the battery, the battery only goes so far. The grass has gotten so long. It's the first mow, and I waited just a little bit too long. But yeah, other than that, things great.
Ace busting out
Haven't been on today much, so I'm
the Tonka trucks.
I think. Go ahead.
What's
that?
I said Ace is busting out the Tonka trucks for men, like the electric lawnmower for the first time this season, and the grass was getting to it for a little bit.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm gonna try to be the first to send the flag,
dude.
So
do it live, bro.
I'm gonna try to do that.
Do it live, bro. Be that Chad that like you say in your like in your handle on X. It is Chad STX, dude. Always out here supporting everybody, always showing up and showing out, dude. Greatly appreciate you coming through and just keeping the frequency high with us, man. It was a more quiet day. There wasn't a whole lot going on. I haven't seen a whole lot of alpha, but I imagine it being the second week second part of April starting. A lot of meetings probably happening, a lot of people talking, getting ready and organized for the rest of the week today. Um, I do expect some alpha to be dropping shortly from all of these different protocols we have in the ecosystem. But it was a predominantly a quieter day today.
Here's a tiny bit of alpha. .id namespaces coming soon for
Ooh,
the support for BoostX. So we got .id. We're gonna have SAI, the Satoshi AI token being added. For, the skull.
let's go. So that is also something that I'm excited about. I've seen that the dev over there has been active. He spun up his own like little Twitter account. He's been doing like giveaways. He opened up a Discord. And I'm kind of getting integrated into their community too. So it's been cool to see that project, because I remember whenever it first came out, it was like the narrative was like first AI token on Bitcoin via stacks, and like that's what it is. And then you can kind of take a peek into like Satoshi's mind with it, right? Like it has an automated account attached to it, and from the alpha that I've heard, from the timeline, just following the dev and all of that stuff, is that they have like some sort of terminal coming as well. So like the dev is heads down grinding. So it's cool to hear that. I was gonna ask you in DMs about that, like yo, what's up with, I like seeing them get active. So that was one of those big ones. There was big players like speculating on SAI whenever it first came out, right? I remember seeing on the timeline, it was like unprecedented, like huge buys coming in.
Yeah, it's most definitely an interesting token, and I like to get any token that people are interested in there. So I mean, it's relatively, just as long as it follows the standard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the ethos and the standards. There's the technical standards, and then there's, I guess you'd say, the philosophical ethos. But it's most definitely a pretty. I like what I see.
Well, dope, dude. I really think that's a pretty good ad there. But I'm really excited that you're starting to expand from like .ptc domains to like now .stx and now .ids. Like, so .ids is next. Like, what other
when
namespaces?
DeOrganized.
So alpha is redacted at the moment, but there are things, right? So stay tuned. Sure to follow DeOrganized. I don't know how we have Skullcoin still running from this morning at the banner at the bottom. But,
Zenitron don't mind.
I know
it's been running all this whole time. It's like
Yeah,
an hour and 15 minutes of promo. Let's go.
Yeah, dude, definitely follow at Skullcoin BTC, where we play live find to earn rounds where you can earn different SIP10 assets on the DeOrganized morning show, the Let's Go morning show at 8:30 a.m. ET. And the find to earn rounds come on around like 9:30. So tune in for your chance to win different assets, man. Yeah, big shout out to them. And at this point, I feel like I spoke on it, and like it'd do it injustice if I were to change it now. So I'm just going to leave it. Big shout out to Zenitron and the crew. But also make sure that you're following at DeOrganized BTC to stay in the know about what's going on, guys. So yeah, guys, it's been one of those days where it is quieter, but I do expect to see more stuff coming from it. I am getting double aces right now, dude. 2 aces.
Pocket aces.
Right now. I feel lucky. I got 2 aces in my pocket.
So, I got on my desktop.
Look at that. Look at that, dude. He figured out how to make it shake. Let's go, Ace. I dig it. So we are getting around that like hour 15, hour 30. I'll probably wrap here next few minutes. Like, is there anything else that we kind of want to discuss? Like, there was that big what was it, MOM token that rugged. it was like a utility token for, it was Mantra. It was the name of the blockchain, and it rugged from multiple billions all the way down,
Dang.
you know, 99 or 90% down, because the distribution was off. I don't know if it was like 80% of the tokens were held by wallets that were connected to the founders or something like that, and then they also had, a giant token unlock in coordination. Did you guys see that at all?
I heard the news. I seen it on the feed. I didn't really know much about the token ahead of that. It's most definitely one of those scenarios where it's like, ouch, you hate to see that happen. You hate to see people get hit, but it's like, this is where you most definitely got to research the tokenomics of a token before buying in with more than you can afford to lose. Hopefully people, they got burned on that. We're only burned with what they could afford to lose, because that's how you're supposed to operate. That's how you make sure that you're coming up, right? And, damn, I did see that.
Yeah,
It,
dude,
it was a big drop.
big drop. A lot of people in a time where retail is already broke, we had something like this happen, right? Like, and more manipulation and extractive. This is why, this is the why for Stacks. We have too many base builders here that are here for the community, building for the right reason. That the ethos has like moved them. It has like it has resonated to them. It makes sense to them. So they are building for the community and not trying to extract value and only add it. So I'm really thankful to like work in an environment where it's like not toxic, and so many people have like the same MO, the same mission, right? So it's almost like OM backwards. We have a better MO like here in Stacks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well
So
played. Well played.
thank you, Sarah. Thank you. I do everything off the top.
That was all improv, like every time.
Just authentic content right here happening live. But yeah, dude, I appreciate both of you guys like coming through and supporting the show and coming to shoot the breeze with me, and discussing the latest things going on in the market. And Ace, did you have anything to add to that OM business? Did you see that Mantra business? Might be having some technical difficulties again.
Yeah, I think he's had some troubles since he switched back to his PC. I wanted to say one thing before we wrap it up. So I'm really excited about the multi-sig integration, with the Cigna. That's super sick. I'm really excited about how basically we're unlocking that collective funding side of things from the internal organization side, while we're concurrently unlocking the kind of the ecosystem-wide funding incentives once we get the crypto cash integrated. So think about crypto cash integration with mining and stacking for users, and then also the actual it's just like the alignment of incentives is just what's blowing my mind here.
Yeah, like how all that you've been building and the feedback that you've been getting, and then like pushing these updates, like how it's coming together, like it's starting to like the big picture. Yeah,
exactly. So just think about like this: you have crypto cash mining that's happening when people are boosting, right? And so they're participating mining. Then there's going to be the list of their potential optional addresses that they want to microfund while they're doing that boost, right? So they're tipping an author when they're boosting. They're mining for crypto cash for themselves, hoping to win, and then they could also microfund a list of payment addresses, and then those payment addresses that they're microfunding kind of on the side, so to speak, kind of not the primary task when they're boosting, it's just a secondary effect that's happening. Those could be vaults of different organizations, like different charities, different DAOs, so it creates like this overlap from like all the different outputs from the individual users, and it's super mind-blowing to think about how the funding model will start looking like once it's all dialed in.
Yeah, I love that. Like you're gonna be able to automatically kind of set who you want to do your mic. You say you transact through BoostX directly from X, yeah, and you can set these people that you want to support microfund automatically, and then that Asigna application, like you're able to like integrate with Asigna, and now you're spinning up these DAOs with different BTC names
Yeah,
in
like
it.
DAO, we're basically bringing DAOs to X with this shit. So
Why?
like, right, and so here's crazy. Here's something to think about. Me and you and Ace, we could all create like brand new X accounts, right, and that are just for a specific purpose or whatever. We could register some BNS names. We could create a vault. We could have a 2 out of 3 signature scheme on the vault so that way we can keep things going without having to have everybody check in on it, and then we could transfer those BNS names to the vault. We could update that accounts our X accounts with those BNS names. So now basically every time we tweet out and get boosts on our tweets, anytime we've received those funds, it'll actually funnel all into the same vault, and then we can all collectively determine how to spend that, including when we're boosting. So like say we come across a fourth artist that's coming up and we're like, this guy's the shit, let's just throw a bunch of cash at him because he's amazing. One of us could boost him, and then it would put it in the queue for the one of the other two to come in there and co-sign and basically execute the transaction via the Asigna multi-sig, right? So basically that is going to be a huge unlock once you also couple in crypto cash mining in there, because the funds could be received, could not just be set. It could you could, yeah, you could,
crypto.
Yeah, exactly, dude. So you could,
That's so
dude,
sick. I'm so excited for that.
Dude, that is so sick. Like being all right, so you're spinning up your own groups of people that are collectively earning STX through the content that they are putting out there, and then they could then secure the crypto cash network to like delegate that STX that they've earned through boosting to earn crypto cash. It is just such a sick concept, dude.
Think about it like this: if we all had set up a vault, we all had our BNS names, we're all using BoostX and crypto cash is all live. I create a tweet, right, and then I'm mining. Like I create a tweet. We could also bake in mining for crypto cash into creating brand new posts. By the way, just dropping a fat alpha right there. So, let's just keep it from
earn.
exactly,
Out of here, dude.
And so just think about it, though, in the simplest terms. You receive a boost, or you're sending like say CryptoSmith, for example, created a post, and I was like, okay, I really like this, I'm going to boost it. I would, while I'm sending him funds via the boost, like what's happening right now currently, right, I would also be participating in mining for crypto cash. And say I was successful in that mining for crypto cash, that obviously I would be able to claim that crypto cash as a reward, and then stack that crypto cash to earn STX from future boosting and mining input, right? And so that what's crazy about that is, though, if I was logged in when I boosted CryptoSmith, if I was logged in with a vault from Asigna and I boosted and mined, then the vault would actually be the winner of that mining, which means the vault could then subsequently stack that crypto cash and then start earning STX passively via the crypto cash. So it's like it gets fucking wild real quick, dude.
There's a
oh yeah, dude. There's a lot of loops. There's a lot of loops.
So many loops. It's like, oh, dude, like it's like almost like a. Dude, it's like a Carolina cyclone. Like we
it's
have
like flywheels
Yes.
internally. There's like flywheels like within flywheels, and then there's like flywheels like that are like cogs and wheels of other flywheels. You know what I'm saying?
a well-oiled machine, sir. It's brilliant. I love it, and I can't wait to like see everything come online as it grows. I remember when you launched BoostX just a few months back. You have grown tremendously within this ecosystem. Like since then, and now like everybody knows how important of an innovation this is, right? So it's one of those things. You guys be sure to follow Crypto Dude on X. That's at Crypto Dude. Sick handle, by the way. It's one of those things, man. Like you're building for the people, and creating these value loops that people can utilize to get paid for their content, regardless of how big their account, how big the reach is. Um, it's sick, dude. It really is, and it's lowering that barrier for earning for content, right? Like you have to have a certain amount of views on your profile in
Hmm.
a set amount of time to become like monetized
Exactly.
content. So you're lowering that barrier for entry, and that goes right over everybody's heads. Like it's a big amount. Like you have to get like 500 million impressions or something like that.
Oh yeah, dude. Monetizing on X is not easy. Like especially
Yeah,
from a new user's perspective, like it's a daunting task. You're gonna be in the you're gonna have to like get in there and get some controversy or something
oh yeah,
because that's about the only way you can catch attention on X most times. So, like, yeah, I love that part about it. Permissionless monetization. That's most definitely
it's
part of the
huge.
ethos.
you know um I love it, and I love that tomorrow, like on the point that Jack made, that like you have worked with Skullcoin and Deorganized to kind of inspire others to use BoostX for different, like like he just said, like tomorrow we're going to use BoostX to play a game called Name That Tune on the Leather Lounge at 11
Mhm.
a.m. AET, right? Like it's inspiring, and that's what we need is like innovation. Um, you know,
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things we could do with it. That like Easter egg hunts where you got to go and track down a specific, you know, maybe like a specific tweet. You know, follow some clues, go click like on a specific tweet, and then get hit with like an exclusive NFT mint prompt that's maybe a sponsored NFT, so you're not having to fork it over. There's so many opportunities in terms of like what's possible. It's crazy.
yeah, dude, I want to like, so you do a certain amount of boost for a particular artist, and then you get access to an exclusive mint. That's crazy. That's
Oh, dude,
crazy.
there,
My
there,
mind
there,
is blown.
there's a lot of opportunity that like haven't even fathomed yet, obviously, and that's why I want everybody's feedback. That's why if you join the Discord, just leave some featured integration request. We're pretty casual when it comes to how we do it. We obviously make sure it's all good, but we're
Yeah,
not
safety
gatekeeping.
first. It's safety first, but no gatekeeping going on around these parts. Ace, are you there with us? Like uh, can you tune in? Unmute for a moment. Like, are you
Can you
capable?
hear me?
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
You're loud and clear. You hear all these
Okay.
things in the building, dude?
I'm listening. I'm really excited for all of it, especially the being able to unlock some things for the music community. That would be amazing. I've got a lot of friends or artists that it's probably one of the sadder things. The financial world, aside, seeing musicians and artists, struggle and trying to fight take the grassroots approach and try to make a living and continue to push their
Mu-
ideas and what
mu-
art and music is just geez, if we could put some
Musicians.
power in their hands, and
Oh,
it would
dude,
be
here's an
so
idea.
amazing.
Here's an idea. A group of musicians forming a like a decentralized label that's using the Signa Vault to manage the funds and fucking grow as like a boss.
That's some
uh,
boss move there. You just get your different band members to adopt BTC name,
Or
and
just
then
different bands. You could have the bands have their own. You could. I mean, this shit gets so layered. It's insane, dude.
dude,
So
music, music, like a whole nother, like yes, such a good point, Ace. That like you, yes, because for so long the way that the music industry has been is like you get with these big labels, and then they take a huge cut out of like the earnings and all of that, and you're like bypassing that and empowering these bands to then earn and start up their own Asigna vaults and start earning through the content that they post and the views and the boost and all
Well,
of that.
they can earn collectively too. So like they can, if they have maybe 2 or 3 different bands that are all under one label, that one label could have a vault, and then those different bands are trying to procure engagement, right? And then they're funding, they're helping to support each other and fund each other, and then obviously there's some internal politics that would transpire, obviously, if people aren't pulling their own weight or whatever,
Right.
but that's their internal operations, and they can kind of collectively vote on that. And because like the Signal Wallet's pretty epic, you guys. The Signal Wallet also, here's the weirdest part: the Signal also uses leather. So like when you're signing in connecting your wallet on X with Boost X, and you're saying you want to connect to Signa, you're still connecting the Asigna wallet, but you're connecting the vault basically. And so when you're going to sign your transactions in your transaction queue out of the Asigna vault, that just uses leather. So like it's really streamlined in that sense. There's no exposure to your private keys anywhere in the loop. You still you basically ultimately just trusting your leather wallet or your Express wallet. So what that does for musicians and being able to get out from underneath labels, because like we don't need labels really to distribute music. We have digital means, right, and methods, and like so really it's about just being able to
set up the rails.
Ensure that the rewards are fairly distributed.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I think probably one, if you're starting to say the rails and GP, I think being able to allow them to step out and be in the flow, like, as all of this happens on X, to be in the flow of, it's kind of like a restaurant not being on the main street where all the
Are you talking about like live
is.
you're talking about for live performance engagement?
No. I'm just talking about, receiving support, whether it's, through Boost X or, these vaults you're talking about. It seems like the Boost X model with some of these solutions, it just puts them in the middle of payments or support. I don't know. It just seems like they're not hiding off to the side on a website. It puts them in the flow of everything happening. It's like everything seems like it's all kind of out in the middle and everybody's there, versus like Bandcamp or their own website or something to that effect. It's like it seems like it puts them out where everything is happening, and I think that's what's so powerful about X, is it's just not, and I feel like that's what's been missing. It's like I don't see musicians out here talking about crypto and art, and the music is something that I feel that's missing. And I think that with if there's an opportunity to be able to use these tools to help solve that, I mean, there's so much music that isn't happening because there isn't a worthwhile model that allows them to earn and get out and do what they need to do.
Rosar last week mentioned basically wanting to see Boost X on the live broadcast action bar, basically on X. So that would kind of dovetail well with musicians that are wanting to perform on X, getting, obviously they want engagement, and what better engagement than some, being able to earn some money while you're performing your song, right? It's like literally like street performance at that point, because, people can just tip what they feel like.
And then you can also, yes, exactly. And then you could also use like the Rising Tide protocol to kind of token gate. Maybe you want, like, before they go live, they do a stream or some sort that's token gated. Like there's so many things that are being developed right now for the content creator economy. It's madness right now. It's gonna get very nutty, and like you're playing a key part in getting these smaller players or giving anybody that's trying to get their start, an even playing field. So I dig it, dude. I really dig where this conversation went, especially getting into like the music side of things. That was interesting. That's something that we haven't really talked about with BoostX, is like what can it do for musicians, right? Like you bring the street performers directly to X, and now they're getting tipped while they're playing. That's crazy, dude. That's nuts.
And the
Yeah, it's
vault,
pretty
the
epic.
vault, as discussed, the vault. I mean, all of that, but to be able to be earning, kind of like their CDs or albums out there selling without them actually having to do anything. I mean, if they're out there able to push content or have interactions or whatever it is, it makes it a little bit more of a viable business model versus just relying on merch. I think
But
that's
I think
Go
probably
ahead.
what would be the cool, interesting, like because you're like looking to incentivize viewers to engage with the artist to help fund the artist, so the artist isn't starving, right? And well, if what if they're minting an exclusive NFT for that performance while they're watching it on live? So basically, the viewer boosts the artist. The artist returns basically an NFT in the process when they're receiving the
Yeah.
boost. Basically,
Yeah,
that's
that's kind of what I've had in the back of my mind. I've having have a conversation with Peace about this. I've got some folks that I'd like to get on to DeOrganized to discuss some of this, and
so. Wait, is that
lots to consider. Yeah.
is that
That's
is that? Wait! You're already doing this? Let's go, dude.
I've
Let's
got,
go.
well, it's not, nothing is baked. I've had conversations about some people and some ideas around this. And I think that that's actually an incredibly powerful idea because you've got, I have one friend in particular that, that has certain events annually that he participates in, and he's always trying to raise money to be able to go get himself there and do all the different things. It's kind of always ad hoc funding his lifestyle, trying to be in the scene, but it's tough to hustle, and he's doing all sorts of things. And man, if the people that supported him could do some kind of NFT, that NFT could get him to what he needed to do, but if there were other benefits that were in that were long term and played into something else, I mean, like you said, the sky's the limit. But instead of asking for PayPal contributions or things like that, an NFT sure gives you something to leverage for more, for people. And I think it's still pretty new out there. I haven't seen it done, in the main, I guess, like what Live Stream, Live Nation, and some. I know it's been said and I've heard things, but I've not participated. I haven't seen it talked about in the last months, but I think that's still really new. I think that would be an incredible use case to try to use, and especially fans and the people that really want to support the serious fans of some of the musicians that I know. If to be able to get them using BoostX or any of the different solutions, and to somehow help them find Bitcoin or other crypto, and that to learn and to try to, empower themselves in that way, man, the harmony that would come from that, it would make me so happy. It seems like there's so much benefits on both sides of it, that everybody could win.
Yeah, you get them earning, so you get them onboarded into stacks. They start earning in stacks, and then they can stack those stacks and earn Bitcoin. Like, it's so huge, and they're earning passive yield while the space is like stacks is made for musicians. It makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's periods to where like you're trying to fund, like you just said, you're trying to fund your shows, get your guys to the gigs and stuff like that. All of that can help. Like, all of the tools that Stacks already has baked in can help those passive yields in Bitcoin, those loans you can take with Zest, like all of that comes into factor whenever you want to start figuring out like operation cost, and then like crowdsource funding, all of that like can be done with BoostX. Like BoostX can literally do it all. So
I love it. Yes. Yes, let's go, boys. Hell yeah.
Yeah, what if they need a new instrument? Fund a new instrument with an NFT, and that NFT is actually the instrument. Maybe there's a solo or something that they do, or there's an exclusive video with that instrument, or there's all different kinds of things. So.
How about this? Here's a great idea. They use BoostX to, tip the musician a specific amount or whatever, right? They're minting an NFT at that time, right? And then that NFT is entering them in a raffle ticket to basically get like an instrument, like you're just saying, So basically, have like a secondary, like obviously secondary sales are obviously exist on NFTs, and there's a market for that sometimes, depending on the NFTs, right? But the more you're able to take that NFT and offer it as an input for something else in terms of like product, good, or service, that's really how it like snowballs.
I think that's it right there. Like, how many times can you leverage that same NFT going forward that creates value for who, artist and fan, community, how many times can that be leveraged? I mean, that would be an incredible thing to track. that would be really cool.
What about if those just are equating to discounts on future purchases for like concert tickets or something like that for artists, stuff like that? That could be huge, because then you could secondary sale those discounts, like basically create a coupon market, basically.
Or you can own a piece. Like, we're trying to get away from that, but like, like say somebody was open to opting into that type of model here, they could do that.
Yeah, there's so many interesting opportunities that are right there at the fingertips, so to speak.
I love it, dude. Like we could go like 1,000 miles an hour for days on this.
I know, right? And still find new stuff.
Yes, and still find new use cases. Like, it's freaking great, dude. You've given me something, like, you've inspired me. Like, you got me creative on the Cryptonauts and like getting me involved, and then like also like, dude, like it's been great getting to talk to you, Crypto Dude. Like, get to know you personally too. Like, and I think that is like important, is that you're getting to know these founders through DeOrganized, through these conversations that aren't scripted. It's all authentic, and then we're all just talking about what's on our mind immediately at the time that it's going down and through our mind. It's the Howard Stern show, like Jack called it. So I love it, man. Guys, it is around that hour and a half mark, and I wanted to give a big shout out to all of our watchers. We have about 1,100 viewers concurrent right now. If you've been listening, be sure to follow Crypto Dude on X. Definitely follow BoostX_app. Go to the Chrome store. Definitely download the Chrome extension and interact with the Stacks blockchain directly from X, and so much more to come. So is there anything else that maybe you wanted to touch bases on? It's one of those things that like it's bitter. It's a sweet bitter thing, because like we put out a high frequency episode with so much out. I don't want to end it, but your boys got to eat.
We gotta get food in the stomach at some point.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to the conversation, Crypto Dude? I will shoot to you first, brother.
I'll just leave it with build the change. That's how it gets done. Build the change, folks.
Let's go, dude. Base takes as always. Thank you for always supporting and coming through and building in the open the way that you are with BoostX, man. It's been really fun, like I said. So thank you, brother. And Ace, any final thoughts, closing vibes Anything that you want to put out to the ethos before we close?
No, no, I'm kind of just I'm so I'm just hopeful for the future, man. I'm so excited for the change, and I'm just thankful to be trying to help make it.
Facts. We're at a pivotal point in Bitcoin's history where we have a programmable, decentralized Bitcoin that you can use on stacks, no federated systems, in a trustless, permissionless environment. We are building the change, like Crypto Dude likes to say, and we are kicking out the high frequency vibes always. Thank you, fellas. Thank you for coming through tonight. Y'all have a very blessed rest of your night. And I look forward to another awesome episode tomorrow and talking to you on a later date.
All right, later, dude.
Good
Later,
night.
Ace.
See ya.
Night. And this has been another awesome episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars together, talk about the latest thing going on in the market and news, kick out alpha as it comes off freshly off the press, and kick out high frequency vibes for you to enjoy the rest of your night with. I'm your boy GP. Tune in again. Tomorrow we have Mr. Wagme coming on to talk about Block 9. Definitely give Mr. Wagme a follow on X. Give Block9_app a follow. Yeah, and we're also going to be DeOrganized, and BoostX Crew is going to be on the Leather Lounge tomorrow at 11 a.m. ET. So be sure to tune in for that as well. We're going to have the Smoke Crew. Big shout out to Bully Pick and the Smoke Crew. On Thursday, come on and talk a little bit about what's going on with Smoke. And I'll leave you with this. I will say, hello, Felicia. Not bye. Hello, Felicia. Y'all have a very blessed rest of your night. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.